What is up, everybody? How are you doing this fine Sunday afternoon for a Saturday sit down? I did have this scheduled for yesterday, but things change. There was a keto meetup in Ohio yesterday, so I asked this gentleman, Mike, if we could do it today, and he obliged. So here we are today. Let's go ahead and bring Mike over, give him a warm, wonderful welcome because he's an amazing man. He's going to tell us his story. Good
Howdy.
afternoon, Mike.
How you doing?
How are you doing, sir? I'm doing
really
wonderful.
well. Yeah, I'm doing real
Well,
well.
that's good. That's so
I'm
good. All righty. It looks like we've got a lot of
living
people already
large.
here. We've got living large, living less large, I guess. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Way less.
We've got Evelyn. We've got Hyla. John Gugahan. Cindy is here. And we've got cat friends. Looks like they're from your side.
Okay.
So many wonderful people already here. And I'm not sure who is exactly familiar with you.
Okay.
But I wanted to start off with your version or your story. Give us an idea of how you discovered keto and where you are and how you got to where you are today.
Okay. My daughter, I don't know, it was probably around 2015, 2016. She did keto for about 6 months and lost quite a bit of weight. And I'm talking like 70, 80 pounds type. And but she didn't have a whole lot of support at the house because she was the only one doing it, and so it got really difficult to be able to stay compliant. So she ended up falling off of it, and the weight came back. Well, I finally just in 2018, May of 2018, uh, I decided to talk to my wife, and I said, you know what? I think I've been looking at this keto thing because I thought it was ridiculous. And then I said, I think this is the real deal. I think maybe we ought to try it. My wife said, let's go for it. So we did. First thing we did was just drop everything that wasn't keto here in the house, got rid of everything. Uh, if it was bread, whatever it was gone. Nothing in the house that wasn't keto. And we were strict keto for that first year. And she lost about 70 pounds, and I lost about 110. Well, no, actually, I had lost 100 at that point at the first year. And then I kind of went into a stall, and she did too. And the stall just wouldn't break. And while it wouldn't break, we did get a little frustrated, and we went more toward a dirty keto type thing at that point, just out of frustration that it wasn't coming off anymore. And so after that, I, I actually got a little more strict about it and lost 10 more pounds and was down to 110 pounds. She still stayed stalled, but I went back into a stall. But even though I hadn't really lost the weight like I did in that first year, I still look upon it like it was a victory because I didn't put anything back on. And if I don't put it back on, I see that as a win, And so she hasn't put it back on. Weight fluctuates up and down a little bit, but nothing significant, a few pounds. And so we're both maintaining. I hope to get back to losing because I got about at least 50 more pounds I'd like to lose. But, I've said it before, if I don't lose another pound, I'm happy with where I'm at from where I was. I started out at 350 and I got down to 240 and I fluctuate between 240, 245 now. So, but it's um, I basically just got tired of being fat. Saying using terms like, he was a big fella. He was almost your size, that kind of thing. That just irritated the hell out of me. And yeah, and so I said, I'm gonna do this because I didn't feel bad. I'm the exception. I did not feel bad, and my health was good. Cholesterol was a little high, but it wasn't real high. My blood sugar has never been high, um, and now my A1C is even lower than it was. It was like 5.5 before. Now it's like 5.4 or 5.3. Um, and my cholesterol has dropped. I think the last time was 170, 171, something like that. And triglycerides were like 60. My HDL is shot up to about 70. And the LDL is like 80, maybe, something like that. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think that's it. So
It is kind of crazy that we still like focus on the cholesterol, that it's still one of those things that we still look at and still utilize as a metric.
right.
I know that this weekend, Dave Feldman, who is an engineer, I'm sure you're familiar with Dave Feldman, but he is one of the most important people discussing cholesterol right now. And he had a big thing in Vegas this weekend, Friday, Saturday, where he is raising money to continue research for cholesterol, showcasing that, like someone like himself and others that are like lean mass hyper responders,
Hmm.
that's not, like the high, if you're if a lean person, you go keto and like your LDL and all that just goes shoots through the roof, but your triglycerides are okay and all that. And like that, it's not a death sentence. It's not what we
Exactly.
think it is, right?
Exactly. Got a couple of questions here. They were saying that I exercise while I was losing weight, and do I do
Yeah.
any exercise now? I walk. I walk about a mile or two every day, and that's the only exercise that I really do. I keep telling myself I'm gonna go to the gym because I qualify for silver sneakers now, and it won't cost me a dime. So I keep telling myself that, but it ain't happened so far. So and that's mainly because my life is just it is hectic. I haven't put out a lot of videos lately. The live's about all I've been able to get time to do. But Cindy asked, "How's my wife doing?" She sees the taste test. She's doing well. She has good days and bad with her Alzheimer's, so I take care of her. And her brother, my brother-in-law, who is mentally disabled, uh, back in the day they used to would call him mentally retarded, and his wife died, and he came in to move in with us, and live with us. So I look after him because he can't drive, he can't read and write, and that kind of thing. So I help him. And my mother-in-law is she lives in a retirement home, and I do a lot of the stuff for her, getting her to doctor's appointments, buying groceries, that kind of stuff. And I've actually got a friend of mine that lives down the street. I mean, like six houses down. That he's landlocked. He can't drive. He can't see. So I take him to the grocery store, and when he has to go to the doctor, I take him to the doctor. So my days are packed.
Yeah, but you're doing such wonderful things, and I know taking care of somebody with Alzheimer's is a very difficult task, especially being your wife and such. There's a lot of
Right.
things in there that's probably mentally challenging for you and
It
mentally
is.
draining for you and emotionally, and then you're taking on your brother-in-law and your mother-in-law, and and all these things. I mean, that's a very commendable thing to do, but it is very taxing on yourself,
It
you
is.
know?
It is. And for many years, I've suffered from seasonal depression in the winter, and especially during the holidays in the winter. And now I have to watch out, and they've actually got me on some medication to help with depression full time because it was not wanting to go away, you know. So, and it's not, oh, I'm going to do myself harm depression. That's no, no, no. Mike likes Mike way too much, you know. So
Mike
that ain't,
likes Mike way too much. Mike wants
yeah,
hashtag more Mike for himself.
that's right. Mike just, you know, sometimes that Mike just feels overwhelmed and Mike gets a little down. So, you know,
Yeah.
and
As you would, and I mean, it's one of those things is like you've got to make sure you're taking time for you and you're getting, you know,
mhm.
like sometimes the term self-care gets a little overused, I think, but you know, it's just, you know, I mean, you're doing such amazing things too. So, um, let me go ahead up here. Where am I looking at here? There was a comment or a question here from Charlie. So Darth Carnivore is Charlie. He
Okay.
says, "Sorry, I'm late. What are some everyday things as a bigger person you had to deal with others may not realize as a part of your lived experience?"
That is a great question. You go to a restaurant and inevitably they want to sit you in a booth, and the booth is too little. You end up against a table, and it's very uncomfortable, actually painful at times. And you have to say, "Hey, I don't know. I need a table. I want a chair." Well, now I haven't found a booth I can't sit in and have plenty of room between me and the table. So that's one of the things. The other thing is you don't get looked at near as strangely when you're getting on an airplane. Like, oh God, please don't let them be sitting by me. Please, God, no. You know, that's the other thing. That's where you get on the plane and there's only like one or two seats available, and so this guy, this literally happened, and it was a two-seater on the side I was on, and he's looking over there and he sees the empty seat, and he's looking around the plane like, oh Lord, there's no more empty seats. He's coming to sit by me, you know. So that's that's the other thing, you know, it's kind of insulting in a lot of ways. So, you know, that's a and it hurts. It can hurt down deep. Uh the other thing is when folks tell you, you know, oh, he's a big fellow, almost as big as you. When you hear that, it's there's little needling things like that, or and this happens more times than not. You get made fun of, and you tell them, say, "Look, I've had enough. Stop." Well, it's because I like you and I love you that I make fun of you. And I'm like, you know what? You have a warped sense of like and love. You know, you need to drop that and don't like me and don't love me so much. You know?
So I'm kind of the same way with like once I get to know somebody and I care about them, like I'm more prone to poking at them. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of like how I grew up, and like especially with like friends on the bus and friends at school, we would literally tear into each other every single day, and we would laugh, and I mean, but it was always a mutual type thing, and it's always something you have to be mindful of if it becomes to not be mutual anymore, you know?
Yeah,
Like I tried to instill in the kids and the stepkids that I have that kind of same thing, because life is hard, and some, you know, and people are going to be mean and make jokes, and so like I would joke with them, but they had trouble with it, and so I had to back off and not be so jokey with them, but I'd always try to make sure that, you know, that understanding that I mean, there are certain people out there, and I'm one of them, that joking around is part of like how how you show like you care. You know what I mean? It is kind of one of
Yeah,
those things, and I am one of those people. And it's like, and if I've never joked with you and never poked at you, I probably either don't feel close to you, or maybe we just don't know each other well enough, and I just don't
right.
know what to poke at. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah,
mean, and then there's obviously things like boundaries. You have to understand your people, what their
right,
boundaries are, and
right,
how what their
right.
insecurities are. So I mean, and
Yeah,
that comes with knowing them and understanding them
right.
and caring about them, and all of that. So I mean, like, Chandler and I poke at each other all day,
You know,
but
I can
yeah.
live with a little needling. I got
Yeah.
no problem. But when it goes there, that I have had friends that will take it to an extreme and to the point of being almost insulting and even sometimes insulting. And that, and I'll tell them enough's enough, man, back off, you know, and I've actually told one or two of them after they've been going on with me, and it wasn't just gentle ribbing. They were just downright mean in what
And
they
there
were
is that
saying.
too.
And I said, okay, ribbing's one thing. You're just being downright mean, and you keep this up, and I'm gonna show you what comes with that.
Because I mean, there are times where people are kind of utilizing that to kind of say things that they wouldn't say otherwise. But
Right.
there are a couple of Hyla here has gifted you gifted a
Ooh.
membership on your side,
Oh, thank you, Hyla. Thank you so much. Oh,
and
she
she's
did.
gifted one on my side too. She's
Yeah.
she's amazing. Thank you, Hyla. It looks like she's watching from both sides with different screen names.
Yeah. Well, she's doing her. She's got two channels that
Hmm.
she's doing it with. Yeah. And that channel, the H. Cooper Crafty Bug, that rascal's got some serious numbers. That channel does real well for her. Not that the other one doesn't. It's just that one is like took off big time for her. But
And
yeah,
John
in
Gogan says,
terms of
"God bless you, Mike. You're a huge help to so many." That's true.
well, thank you, thank you. I I I do a lot of cooking on my channel, and I try to make it. I can do gourmet cooking, I can do practical cooking, and I can do a combination of both. And I try to show you how you can make a really elegant meal and a very good, nutritious meal, not spend a ton of money, and it be delicious and wholesome. And and it doesn't take. I can do it where it doesn't take a lot of time, and that it's like when we do our lives, we'll cook a meal. We do the whole meal, and we do it. We'll have it done in less than an hour and ready to have uh, do taste testings in that hour. So that's it's just you, you don't have to be elaborate with what you do. You can do it relatively simple. You've got some great recipes. I love your recipes when you cook. I wish you'd cook more often.
I have a recipe that I've been editing for a while, and not like there's a deep edit or anything. I started it, and then I went back to it, and I just like got distracted and did other things. And it's just a simple
Hmm.
thing that I made for one of Chandra's pitch-ins. It's just like it's a super easy like Asian chicken salad thing,
Oh
where
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like like broccoli slaw and sugar snap peas and chicken, and then
Mhm.
some and just some like Asian sauce on it, and you just shake it up, and that's it. And it's almost to the point where it's so easy, I kind of feel silly putting the recipe out, because it literally took me like 2 minutes to do it and get it ready for her pitch in. So it's just like, uh, and like you say, like, I don't put a lot of effort. Like, I in my live this morning, I had Chris Cooking Nashville was in my live, hanging out and talking with us,
Mhm.
and I admire his recipes, but his recipes are the exact opposite. He's got some
No, they're
they're
yeah,
in-depth recipes.
they are. They are. I want to try them so bad, but they are. it is time consuming.
Mhm.
Uh,
And I'm just
'Cause they
I put him a comment on the last video. He put out the pancake recipe looked amazing. And I was like, I can tell that you love what you do,
mhm,
and I can see in the videos that how much work you put into your videos.
mhm.
Because as a content creator myself, I understand, like, I can see, like, what effort he puts into it and how long it takes him to do it, and I appreciate that because I think that that is one of the things that kinda goes underappreciated with channels because of all the work that goes into it is not
Right,
necessarily seen on screen
right.
until you do it yourself and you go, "Oh, he's
Oh,
doing this and
yeah.
this and this. Holy oh, man." He's like, "I've gone through iterations," and then you see how complex his recipes are, and he didn't get it right the first time.
No, it took time to get
Yeah.
that yeah. I've got I have got probably it may be 10 different things that I've been experimenting with, trying to get it perfected to where I feel like I could put it on the air. Sometimes I'll just go out there and video it and do it, me just
Mine
trying it
are
for the
mostly the
first.
first time I've done it.
Yeah, I've done that,
Yeah,
several times, but that's when I'm confident that it's either gonna work or it's not gonna work, and I can't go anywhere else with this if it doesn't work, you
and
know?
that's why I went ahead and I put out that pudding mayo recipe that was a
Mhm,
disaster. I
mhm.
was like, "Okay, here's what it looks like." They don't always turn out the way you want them to. And Cindy says, "Mike, she's finally gonna make that Reuben chaffle today."
Excellent. Let me know how you like it, because I love that. My wife took oh, I was we were dipping it in the Russian dressing that I made, and she was like, "Oh my god, I hope you remember how you made this because I want this again." And I'm here to tell you, most of the time she likes what I cook. If she doesn't like it, she will tell me she doesn't like it. And there have been a few times she'll say, and I'm going, she didn't like it, folks. She didn't, she tries to be nice and not say it, but she'll say, well, it's okay, or something like that. Like the one thing she did, or she tasted and didn't want no part of it ever again was chia seed pudding. She said, "Nope, never again. So, not doing it. Not doing it." And I said, "Okay." But, and Evelyn says she's had to go to her daughter's last performance in
Yeah,
Newsies. Oh,
as
cool.
a newsie, yeah.
That's cool.
Good
Thanks for
luck,
coming
Evelyn.
in.
Tell her we said break a
Yeah.
leg.
Yeah. Oh, and
And,
Hyla's got 3 channels now. Wow, Hyla.
she is ripping it up, isn't she?
Yeah,
And Bob
buddy.
says that he's a big fan of my product reviews.
You know what? I am too. You and the missus do some great product reviews. Y'all interact so well doing it. It's a and she is like my wife. She is gonna tell you right quick. Nope, nope, nope. Don't want it.
Yeah, because so she was actually really excited by the fact that that pudding recipe failed because I was like, "I'm gonna make pudding out of mayo." She goes, "Am I gonna have to try that?" And I'm like, she was not thrilled at all because we are not a mayo house. We don't eat mayo in the house. I'm not a fan of it. She doesn't like mayonnaise. And it was even funny because one of the kids was like, "I always thought I didn't like mayo because you didn't like mayo, mom. But you know what? Mayo is really good on sandwiches."
See, we're just the opposite. We have the philosophy. We like a sandwich. When you think you got enough mayonnaise on it, put a little more. you know, that's when you know what it is. It will be in my video for this week, ending next Saturday. Okay, cool. That's cool. I love it. Mayo is nasty. The Pro Cut
Yeah, I
says.
agree.
Have you tried the butter
That's why I
mayo?
make it. That's
Have you
why I
tried
make
the?
it. If I need it, I just make a little bit, and that way I don't have to go buy it for $10 or $12.
See, I love it. There is one thing I want to try that I've been told is really good, and I haven't done it. Is using avocado oil or olive oil or a mix of the two in making tuna salad. I have not tried that, and I want to try it.
As a mayo, or just utilizing them
No,
on their
just
own?
just utilizing them on their own and don't put any mayo in it. Just use it.
That might be a way that I'd actually eat it.
Yeah, because
I've been trying to come up with a recipe for deviled eggs that doesn't include mustard or mayo or anything like that. And I got to sous vide the eggs, because here's the kicker. For me, one of the biggest detractors of deviled eggs is the grainy yolk, that the boiled yolk, right? The real
right,
dry yolk when you mix it in with
right,
stuff.
right.
I need a way to make them creamy to where they're smooth and not that grainy yolk. So
So
I'm going to
you
probably
okay?
sous vide them to where the yolk is custardy but not dry, where you're
Little
not going to.
jam,
It's
a
very,
little
very
jammy,
difficult. A
a
little
little.
jammy, yeah. So they're still a little damp, and yet still solid enough that I can cut through the egg and do everything I need to do. Because I find that, like, boiling 6-minute eggs is a difficult task. But if I can do sous vide, which I have a sous vide set up, it's in the garage. I had to get it out and clean it and get it ready to go, but I have it, and I just need to get that together and come up with a recipe and get the flavor profiles correct, and then I can make a video on that. But that's actually going to have to take me a few tries probably to get what I want and kind of get where I want,
Have you ever, or do you have a air fryer?
Yeah.
Cook your eggs in the air fryer.
Well, I've got an egg cooker, an air fryer. I mean, I've got a little egg cooker that I like to use for Chandra. It's a Nostalgia brand from Walmart, and it
Mm-hmm.
cooks 7 eggs at a time. And I just
Okay.
you just pour a little bit of water in there, and it's got a little plastic lid, and you just pop it on. And then, yeah, that's how I cook my eggs. But just for the idea of the deviled egg aspect of the whole thing, then I would
Mhm.
do um I would go ahead with the sous vide. Look at
Well,
this. Maitreya, look at you. 5
wow,
memberships she's gifted. Oh,
wow,
I appreciate you, Maitreya. And I'm so sad I didn't get to see you yesterday. I was in her neck of the woods yesterday for the keto meetup, but she had a lot of things going on, and it didn't work out time-wise.
wow. But if you with the air fryer, I cook it for 18 minutes at 250 degrees, and I preheat it for 2 minutes when I do it, and then as soon as they're done, I take them out and put them in an ice bath, and it stops that cooking process right away. But that's for a hard boiled egg. Now, if you want it a little jammy, cook it about 15, maybe 16 minutes at 250. And I bet it'll come out jammy perfect, and they'll peel perfect if you put them in that ice bath.
Yeah, my thing is, I've noticed, is if you keep them in the ice bath too long, then it overcorrects and then they won't peel right. Yeah, you got
That's
to just put them in there
correct.
to their cool, not cool,
Right,
but just warm to the touch.
right. If
Jahil's
you leave them in there till the ice is
here.
all melted, you done left them in way too long.
Mhm. Then they don't peel right. Jahil's
Exactly.
here. He says hello, Keto Mike. Hi, Dustin.
Hey,
Say hi
how
to
you
Chandra
doing?
for me. I will tell her.
Yes. Yeah, say hi to her from me too. Is she working?
She's at work, yeah.
Yeah.
And John says he loves his egg cooker.
My daughter has one and she loves it. She's got an
And
air fryer, and I told her you ought to try the air fryer. She said, "Nope, I love it the way they're done in
I
there."
did try cooking them I've tried them in the oven. I saw that you could just line them up on, like, the oven rack. I've seen people do
Hmm.
that. I tried that. It didn't work. I did try it in I've tried them in the Instant Pot. I did that a bunch. I'd fit 18 eggs in the Instant Pot. And then I think I did try them in the air fryer. I had because I had an Instant Pot air fryer combo that I didn't like. It was just it didn't cook as much food in the air fry as I wanted it to. So, Maitreya says that I want to say that the Bud File says good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good
Thank you for
morning.
joining us. Maitreya says Reuben Chaffles. Well, then I'm not going to make the Reuben Stuffler next week, maybe in April. It's only $5. It's a celebration for end of month geek EOM geek
Geek
announcement.
announcement. Oh, okay.
So
What's a
she's gonna
stuff?
make a stuffed Reuben. Like
Oh,
have you seen the stufflers?
no, I haven't.
It's like, so basically like it's like you pour some of the mix in and it's got a little ring around the middle, and then you pour stuff on top of it, then you pour more mix on top of it, then you close it, and then it like makes like
Oh,
a stuffed waffle.
oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I've saw that on Serious Keto had he has one of those, and I remember that now. I didn't know what the name of it was though.
We've got a knockoff one in our pantry that I've never opened. I think I got it for $20 from what's that Big Lots.
Oh, okay. Wow, I like looking in Big Lots and Ollie's, and I love doing that. And I'll go to the Goodwill, and I found some good stuff in Goodwill.
The downside to Goodwill, at least the Goodwills in our neck of the woods, like you'll see like Dash Minis open and they're charging like the same price you get them on Amazon.
Yeah, that ain't right. Yeah, they shouldn't do that. I've got a new thing I ordered, and I got it. It came in about a month ago, and I haven't had a chance to do anything with it yet. And it's a pizzelle maker. Uh, it's Dash makes it, and it's a basically like a really thin waffle, and you can make waffle cones with it if you want.
Mhm.
You can make a cookie, a pizzelle cookie, and it's. I'm looking forward to trying that. I got some things I want to do with protein powder to try and up the protein and lower all the other things that are involved in it because you know that in making like a cookie.
Take care, Charlie. Hopefully you have
All
a good
righty.
rest of your day. And I'm glad the leprechaun trap worked.
Oh
He and his
yeah.
daughter made a leprechaun trap last night after I dropped him off from the keto meetup.
Oh, that's cool. I'd love to see how a leprechaun trap works.
Well, it's definitely not a it has. I know last year he said they made one and it had a little sign on it that says "not a leprechaun trap." That's how it works.
Don't get yeah. You got to tell them it's not.
You
I
can't
saw a live
give
this
it
morning.
away.
Yeah, I saw a live this morning where somebody said that Yoda was a leprechaun.
I don't have the name brand stuffed waffle maker. I don't think mine is not the Stuffler. I don't know what brand it is. It's just in the box. I don't even know. I want to make pizza, like a stuffed waffle pizza out of it. I think that would be the best thing to make. But you
Oh,
know,
curry oh yeah, curry would be a great taste in one. I
I
like
agree.
that.
I
My
agree.
wife would never touch it, but I would love it. She doesn't
Chandra got
do
me onto yellow curry. She loves yellow curry, and it's like curry with coconut, and oh, it's
uh-huh.
so good.
My wife doesn't like curry. She doesn't do spicy. She doesn't do she'll do flavorful, but not with those.
Yeah,
And
we were talking last night. We were on our way home, and we were talking. I was like, I made chili for a chili cook-off at work one time, and I put in one tiny little dried ghost pepper in the chili. You know, a big thing of chili, and I put one, and I was like, "This is perfect." And everyone when we had tried it, so everybody in the house was like, and I'm like, "This is perfect. This is not too hot." and I
well, when my wife when she would eat canned chili before we were keto, a Hormel canned chili will make her break out in a sweat.
really.
Yeah, she can't do spicy. My mother-in-law can't. I I like spicy, but sometimes it gets me. Sometimes it
Thank
gets
you
me.
for being here, Hyla. We appreciate you,
Yes,
and thank you for the gift, the
thank you
membership
very
gift.
much. I
Thank
love
you.
it. I do appreciate you and it. But that spiced waffle, I gotta think about that one. I gotta think about making one of
Our
them.
treasured home is here. She said
That's
I don't know
all
if it's she they say hello, everyone.
That is Nancy. Our
Oh,
treasured
nice
home
to
is
meet you,
Nancy.
Nancy. Thank you for being here. Matreya says a yellow curry paste is harder to make than red. Hashtag team lazy. I'm super lazy when it comes to that because typically if I'm having yellow curry, we've got Thai takeout. And that comes with rice. So
Yes.
I
I,
mean, typically if we're having curry, we're having a cheat night.
yeah. I see. I love Indian food, and especially tandoori chicken. Oh, that stuff is so good. But it has more spice on. That is more spicy than my wife can take, even with that. So it's we don't go to Indian restaurants because of it. Because I love paneer saag. I don't know if you've ever had any of that.
I don't think I've ever had that.
It's basically a cream spinach, or you could do it with kale. Also, I
I
tell
wouldn't do
folks
it with
what
kale.
you wouldn't
No.
kale
Kale has a weird taste. I don't like it.
if you buy fresh kale, what you got to do is take and Bruno, Bruno, get away from there. Sorry, um, sit. Thank you. Um, if you buy fresh kale, you got to put it in water and you got to massage it for about 5 minutes, and then drain it and let it dry, and on paper towels or something. Whole different texture to it.
I used to deal with kale. It was around the edge of the salad bar when I worked at Chuck E. Cheese. It was it was all the way
It
around
was
the edge of the
garnish.
salad bar.
It was
Yeah.
garnish in the bar.
And we would take it off and set it and put it in a container, then put it out the next day.
That's funny. That's funny because man, I'm telling you, it's a whole different kind of green when you do that. And I tell folks, I said, almost without exception, you can. There's a few exceptions, but almost none. That if you you can cream almost any green, and you can saute almost any green, and that includes like sauteing um, romaine lettuce. That's real good. And field mixed green salad, you can saute that as well, and it comes out really well.
Greens, the only way you can saute water.
Yeah, 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 yeah. See, when I'm going to use spinach, if I'm going to use it in a dish other than eating it raw in like a salad, I'll buy frozen, thaw it out, squeeze it out, and use it because it's going to be less than buying that bag that's going to shrink down to like this, and it's already shrunk. You you're getting what you see is what you're going to get in size, and that I'm not you're not losing a whole lot of it because of that. So that, as far as I'm concerned, that's the way to go with spinach. You can, if you don't mind the canned, you can do that with canned spinach as well. Let's see.
I'm
I've
not
made
Popeye.
a lot of. You don't like spinach?
I like raw spinach, weirdly enough. I
Okay.
like if we're gonna make a salad, I usually use spinach greens and like shredded cabbage as a salad over lettuce and that kind of stuff. So I usually get like the slaw mix and mix that in with some spinach, like raw spinach leaves, and then I will add like salad dressing and like cheese stuff to that, and then maybe some meats. But I don't do salads all that often because typically they're more expensive for me because of how I make them. And it's so difficult and expensive to find a decent non-seed oiled salad dressing. So,
Yes, and I've
and go ahead. I'm
I'll
sorry.
tell you a good seed oil that you can use, but it's a little bit expensive and it's a little bit of you got to use only a touch. Sesame seed.
Yeah. Um, Maitreya is asking, would your wife like butter chicken? I've made a few variations on my channel and keep it non-hot by family request.
I've actually made butter chicken and she liked it, and Uh, I've only made it a couple of times, but she did like it, and I love it too. It's great.
And our treasured home says, "Nice to meet you too. Thank you." And Maitreya is saying that the sag paneer is so good.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let's
And
see.
Northwood's Peachtree says they're hypoglycemic and always in ketosis.
Wow.
I think if you are like hypoglycemic and then you can maintain that, that's impressive.
It is. That yeah. Well, you've been keto for a long time, like I have,
Mm-hmm.
and when you've been keto as long as we have, if you have a cheat day, a cheat meal, something like that, more times than not, it's not going to knock you out of ketosis.
Yeah, we
Uh,
went out Friday. We went and we had sushi with a friend, a couple friends,
mhm.
and we had the sushi, and then we I was jokingly complaining on what was that Thursday about because it was 3/14, so Pie Day, and I was like, that was Shandra had been out and she was at Goodwill. I was like, stop by and buy a pie, get a pie, and she was like, no. She's like, we're gonna go get sushi tomorrow, and I'm like, okay, fine. And then we were at sushi, and she's like, let's go, let's get a pie. So we ended up going and splitting an apple pie, and yeah, terrible, but and then we had some ice cream too. So like, and then the next day I didn't feel all that bad. I mean, we didn't
Right,
sleep that we didn't. The downside is typically if you eat like that, then like you have like that food coma, and we were
right,
like almost basically awake the whole night. It was the weirdest thing.
yep,
So it was like a reverse reaction than normal. Because
right.
typically you'd have that food come and be like, no, we were awake.
Boy, I did that last night. I couldn't go to sleep for nothing. I saw 4 o'clock in the morning before I ever went to sleep, and then I was up at 7.
Mm. Well, I got up because I got up at a little bit before 5 because that's that's a normal Saturday Sunday routine for us. Is we're up early Saturday and Sunday like people are during the week,
Right.
and I get Chandra together, get her out the door, and then I get ready to do these, and
Right.
so and then I did take a nap between that one and this one, so
You still got your granddaughter that you take
yeah,
care of during the week?
yeah, yeah.
Has she started school yet?
She's in preschool,
Oh, okay.
so
Okay.
she goes 3 days a week.
I figure she had to be getting close to going to school.
She should well, so her birthday fell too late. So she's old enough to be in kindergarten,
Ah,
but the way her birthday fell at the end of August, she wasn't old enough soon enough to go to kindergarten.
I see.
Which is probably a little bit better too because she's not necessarily like kid socialized very well because she hangs around with us all the time
Right.
and she's not around her cousins too much. So she's not around little kids very often, like kids her own age. So now that preschool is kind of helping her get acclimated to being around other kids. So I still think she's going to be kind of a loner a little bit anyway, because she'll talk about things like that. Like nobody wanted to play with me, so I swung on the swing by myself. And you feel so bad. But you're like, well, they've got to make up like, and we would ask her like, were they playing things you didn't want to play? Yes. And if you didn't want to be alone, you could have played their whatever they were playing. Yeah. I mean, like,
And
so it's
made a
kind of like the
choice.
choices you make, you know what I mean?
Right. It was choices. You
But she's
know,
5 and doesn't quite understand that yet. But
yeah. Well, enjoy this time with her.
oh, I do. Share it on X. I have to head out to the store. Thank you so much, Northwood. You have a great rest of your
Thank you.
day and be safe.
Appreciate you
And
joining us.
Maitreya says I make a lot of Americanized keto-fied Asian influenced foods. Last summer I introduced a lot of Asian vegetables to people. I bet those vegetables were not thrilled about that. I don't want to be eaten. Anyway.
See,
All right, yeah. I
I
mean, we've
love
got like
bok choy.
I was thinking the same thing. I like that, and we're not a big vegetable household because typically the vegetables we keep in the house are frozen. So we typically just keep like the cauliflower rice, broccoli, that kind of stuff in the house, or like even frozen onions, because we
Right.
will buy fresh vegetables and they just sit in the fridge and we forget about them. Or, I mean, it's difficult for us to even make meat on time because we eat so much meat that
I
we'll
hear
like,
you.
oh,
I
I
hear you.
buy more meat
Yeah.
for the week than we need, and then
I I have the same philosophy. I buy the only frozen vegetables I don't buy are Brussels sprouts. I buy that fresh because and I buy asparagus fresh because neither one of those I have not been able to get them to work right frozen.
now I'm a fan of frozen as well as fresh Brussels sprouts. They end up having different textures,
Yes.
and that I'm okay with because I like both, like the hard roasted ones where they're like kind of stiff, and I
Mm-hmm.
also like them to where they're like fried with onions and they're kind of mushy. I know it's weird, but I didn't even start eating Brussels sprouts until well after we were keto. I never had them as a kid. They weren't a thing. Like I know I saw them on TV, but we never had them. I don't even know if they were in our grocery store. I don't know. I mean,
Well,
I didn't even have broccoli but once or twice as a kid, and it was disgusting. So I didn't eat it again till we were keto basically as well.
well, that's the thing about Brussels sprouts. Also, radishes. It tastes one way raw
Mhm.
and totally different cooked.
So the potatoes.
Yeah,
Diddly diddly potatoes.
yeah. I mean, you got that tart, spicy type taste to the radish when it's raw, but it mellows out and is really good when it's
Mhm.
cooked.
Yeah, indeed it does, yeah.
And I that you did a recipe, and I've done it 2 or 3 times because and it was delicious. Where you took shaved Brussels sprouts
Mhm.
and you sautéed them.
Oh, so good.
That was so good. That was so good. I put a little bacon fat in there with it and let it go to town. That's it. I
Oh, that
loved
stuff
it.
is so good. So we only get that at Trader Joe's. I see it at Trader Joe's, and I when I made that, I was using some hatch green chili spice that I also got from Trader Joe's. And I was at Trader Joe's just about 2 weeks ago, give or take,
Hmm.
and they didn't have it anymore. They didn't carry it anymore, it doesn't look like. So I was really
Oh
bummed
man.
about that hatch green chili spice, because it was kind of mellow, wasn't overly spicy, but it had a deep, rich flavor. And I almost bought some of the shaved Brussels sprouts, but I didn't. But I was kind of busy and I just couldn't get close enough.
I've I've run them. I've run the Brussels sprouts through the because I have a hard time finding them. I run them through the food processor and get them shaved myself and do it.
That
And
might be easier than cutting them down myself, like sitting there and cutting them down, and then just you could probably like you don't may not have to trim them as close and just
no,
pulse
and
them.
just pulse them. That's it. And you don't have to trim them near as close. It works real well. I just put them in there and pulse it a few times, and it shaves it right up. But I I with the
Learn.
frozen vegetables, the way I found to do it, people say, "Oh, frozen, I don't like it." Well, it's a fresh vegetable that was flash frozen at the time it was picked. So you're getting all the benefits of a fresh vegetable. And what I will do is I will let it thaw before I cook it.
I don't. Most of the time. Sometimes if I pull them out and I'm like, I don't really feel like cooking this, I'll just toss them in the fridge
Hmm.
and let them thaw in the fridge and then cook them like the next day or the day after.
Yep.
Yeah.
And once I let them thaw, then I'll drain them off, and then I'll cook them from there. And it I'm telling you, it's a world of difference in the taste. You don't get, it's not that mushy taste that you get sometimes with with a frozen vegetable. Uh, and my wife now, she's not a fan of the frozen green beans. I like them if you cook them certain ways. Just throw them in a pot and cook them. Nope, don't want no part of it. I want it. I stir fry it, put it in something that you're baking, that kind of thing. And that's a good way to get your green beans right there. Which I've had a debate. You tell me. I say green beans are keto. I've been told by other people, no, they are not. What do you think?
I mean, realistically, I don't see anything not necessarily keto about green beans because there's
That's
what in a whole can, maybe 8 total carbs in a whole can.
exactly.
And it's a vegetable, so it's not like, and they're not like sugary really. And I mean,
Exactly. That's my thoughts on it. Exactly. I mean, you could eat a whole can and you're going to be just fine. And I have done that.
see, Maitreya knows what's up.
I agree 100%.
And
They
she's talking
are.
about she uses the salad shooter.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
I haven't thought about a salad shooter as long as I haven't thought about the Floby. Just like those 8, that was just that was like those infomercial gadgets. Like, do they still? And I know I'm not trying to be a dick, but like, do they still make the salad shooter? Because I know we've got like we had the
I bet you.
like the zoodle maker thing. It's still up in our cabinet. We just like
I've got it. I haven't used it in a
hanging
while,
out.
but I love it.
I mean, when we first started keto, we were doing zoodles all the time. We'd go and we would go through zucchini like crazy. Green beans are a keto approved vegetable. So says Cindy. So shall it
I
be done.
agree. Yes, it is.
I grew up with canned green beans as a kid. My grandma would make them, and this is what she would put in them. So now tell me if this is I don't even know what is in it, but I have to look up and see what's in Equal. But she would put minced onions in it and
Okay.
Equal. So they were sweet, which was weird to me. But that's how we ate them because that's how my grandmother would make them. And I don't know. I'm gonna look up and see what is Equal because I know what
Equal
Splenda
has
is.
aspartame in them.
Is
It
it?
has aspartame, which, you know, it's sweeter than sugar,
Yeah.
but and I don't think it really has that much of an effect on the glycemic index. But it, there are those who say that it is a carcinogen. I have not seen the studies on that. I'm not saying it is or it isn't because I don't know. I don't eat it. I don't use it. Um, and I stay away from the powdered Splenda. I'll use the liquid
Oh yeah.
Splenda.
I was talking about that on a live the other day. So the packet of Splenda is 1 gram. Okay.
Hmm.
The contents of a packet of Splenda is 1 gram. 935 milligrams of the 1,000 milligrams, which makes up the gram, is maltodextrin.
Yes.
So that's the one thing to keep in mind.
And that's how they get it to crystallize. And I don't use it because of that. So I'll use the liquid form because it does not have the maltodextrin in it. And it tastes good. But now I like the monk fruit, but allulose has become my sweetener of choice because
So,
I haven't heard
excuse me.
anybody say anything about allulose.
There are 2 different things that come up and tell me what's in. I'm getting 2 different ingredient lists for Equal.
Okay.
So Equal on Wikipedia just comes up and tells me that it's aspartame, maltodextrin, and ACE K
Okay.
with silica dioxide as an anti-starch, silica dioxide, maltodextrin, and unspecified flavorings. But excuse me, on Amazon, well, no, that's different. Equal, that's saying it's the yellow packet. That's not right. Okay.
No.
So let's see. Equal packets contain dextrose with maltodextrin, aspartame, and asorafame potassium, which is ACE K.
Uh-huh.
So that's going to be similar things like usually when you see a asorafame potassium, it's going to be paired with sucralose, and
Right.
like like those 79-cent clear drinks at Walmart usually have Ace
Uh-huh.
K and sucralose in them.
This has that
Ace K in it.
and sucralose.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with Ace K. I know folks that won't touch it. I'm like, I'm good. Doesn't affect me at all. And this is just the Amazon. It's an Amazon version of an energy drink.
That brand is, I think is the same brand that sends us our is where our Nespresso packets come from. Our
Oh, okay.
Nespresso pods come from. We buy them and we have them sent to us from Amazon so we don't run out
Mm-hmm.
because they're hard to find in the grocery store. So we have to order them.
Yeah, they're nowhere in our grocery stores here.
I mean, you can
And
find like they have like the Starbucks ones and the metal ones, but
mm-hmm.
they're like $10 for 10 or $6 for
Yeah.
10 or something, and we pay $15 for 50 from Amazon.
Hey, my family says I'm a tightwad. I say no, I'm frugal. and I actually one of my granddaughters years ago said, "Well, what does frugal mean?" I said, "Well, tightwad." You know, she
I
laughed.
mean, there's a difference because I mean, there's like, there's understanding the necessities. Because I know people who will avoid buying necessities because they don't want to spend the money, and that to me
Right.
is a tightwad.
That's a tightwad.
Like a tightwad is somebody who won't even buy what they need
Right.
because they don't want to. They have the means, they just refuse to do it.
To do it. Yeah.
And like to me, like frugal is you know what you have to buy,
Mm-hmm.
and you try to do it the best way possible.
Right. Right. You're managing it. We've got Walmart, Publix, Kroger, Aldi, Lidl, and Ingles. 6 different grocery stores that are around us, and I hit all of them.
Using Flip to look at their stuff.
I look at it. I go onto their app and look at the prices, and I decide which one I want to get certain things from. And
That's a low
sometimes,
key that's a hot take. Flip is underutilized by most people because you can look at. That's how I decide if I'm going to go to Meyer, Kroger, Fresh Time to get something.
mm-hmm.
Walmart doesn't really show up there. All these will show up there with like stuff that they're going to have seasonally or whatever. They're here today, gone tomorrow stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like knowing and seeing what Kroger's going to have because it'll even have this week, and depending on when you look at it, it might have this week, the remaining of this week, and what's coming next week. Same thing. Same thing with Meyer.
There is a 7th store, but it's an Asian market, but it doesn't show up on anything. It doesn't have anything on it.
Well, they probably don't have a circular then.
Right. They have one that if you get on their mailing list, they'll send it to you. But you have to really go through it because I mean they put so much on it. It'll take you 30 minutes to go through the circular at a minimum, and they'll put. It's kind of disorganized in that they won't group together certain categories. They'll do it with just about everything. Like Aldi with their circular, they group together categories, and which. Like I like going to the Asian market to get my fresh vegetables because they have the best there is around and the best prices when I do get my fresh vegetables. Oh, and talking about bok choy,
right?
What I will do is I will saute the bok choy, but I will cut the stalk off of it and I will use it like celery. Like if I'm making tuna salad or if I'm doing something that I want celery in or want to put some cream cheese on some celery or something to have, I'll use that. And I buy celery too sometimes when I don't have bok choy because sometimes I don't get the bok choy because I'm afraid I won't eat it in time before it goes bad. I hate throwing food away.
We've got these gigantic Asian, or not Asian, they're these gigantic international markets that have like every aisle is a different country, and it's
Hmm.
similar to Jungle Gyms near Cincinnati, but it's just the entire store is this huge. Like we've gone through those stores and like you just go up and down every aisle and it's like so overwhelming. Like because you'll find the same thing on different aisles with just different country branding,
Right, right. And
depending on what it is, like different kinds of canned goods or canned meats, but just different languages on it and stuff.
yeah,
And I like going through there, like, but the one closest to us is so big that it's like an all day thing. Like you just got to go and like, and it's usually so packed because this is where people will do all their shopping there,
yeah,
and it's just ridiculously it's packed. And it is kind of like Jungle Gyms and how packed it is. But the difference between Jungle Gyms and these places, Jungle Gyms is like touristy packed, where people are there kind of looking, but like this place is packed with people buying groceries for the week from those countries. People
right,
go there because they have their country stuff there and they can get what they
right,
want, you
right.
know.
Yeah, like I will occasionally eat Vegemite.
Yeah.
My mother was Australian, and I developed a taste for Vegemite because of that, and because it's
The
huge
Vegemite
there.
sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't get it often, but I'll buy a little small jar of it, and I'll use it as a spread on something like how you would with butter. And it's uh, what can I say? I'm probably the only American that likes it.
They're probably not because you can get Vegemite. And there's a different brand of it too.
Marmite.
Marmite. That's the one that I've seen at places. I've seen Vegemite at places too, because like most grocery stores will have some little small section of international stuff.
Hmm.
That's where you can get your spotted dick, if you will,
Right. Yep.
or what other strange like um it's small, like typically like how like the gluten-free aisle is, like the gluten-free section. And they'll have like different candies from different countries and stuff they're just a small section, but
Right.
sometimes you'll see Vegemite. But the last few times I've looked at like Jungle Gyms and stuff, they'll have Marmite, which I don't know if there's a difference, if it's just a different brand.
It's a little difference, but it's not a lot. It's my mother would tell me, said, I'll eat Marmite. It's good. I prefer Vegemite, but I'll eat the Marmite. And I because I used to buy it for was we've got some the Asian market we have close to us. It's the only one we've got around near us. But there, if I go over to the Chamblee area or the Duluth area here in Atlanta, you got tons of markets like that, and there's a lot of them that are Hispanic markets, international markets, Asian markets that are all over in those areas, and I can catch that with you know I can get either one of those there. And when my mother was alive, I'd go buy it for her there and take it to her. But she didn't eat it that much because it is rather salty, and she had a little bit of problem with fluids and all. But oh, we got Belt Loop in here. Hey, Belt Loop. Do you know Belt Loop?
Belt Loop, I do not. Belt Loop says hello to you, and Keto Police is in here saying hello to you as well as to me.
That's
Good afternoon.
he is YouTube Police and Belt Loop 29 is the same person.
Oh, okay.
That's Gary. He lives down in Mississippi.
Oh, fantastic.
Radical Geek. I
Maitreya
prefer
says she prefers Marmite to Vegemite. The great debate.
yeah, yeah.
I've heard about it. My friend married an Australian girl sometime back in they married in like 2014,
Hmm.
and they were married for just a couple of years and then divorced, and she moved back. But she lived here for a while, so like her being able to find Vegemite was a thing for her, you know, that was a treat for her. but there was things that she liked about the United States that like here cheese sauce is everywhere. Like you go to like most restaurants will have a cheese sauce, like a nacho cheese sauce, or they just didn't have that wasn't a thing in Australia.
No.
There was just a lot of things about Australia, and I guess booze is much cheaper here than it is Australia. So
we got Yes I Can Barbecue. That's Simon.
Welcome, Simon. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so very much.
Yes.
And YouTube Police says, sorry, I have the volume pretty low at the moment. I'm on the phone with Devil Dog.
Devil Dog, he lives in the Houston, Texas area. I think it's Houston. But he's in Texas, and he and Beltloop are really close friends, and both of them great guys. They got great channels, both of them funny. They have a live out there that they did together a while back. It is so comical. They were discussing about watch hours, and they were both getting close to the watch. Beltloop was getting close to the watch hours and such as that, and the math that they were doing, it was like listening and watching Abbott and Costello. And I'm telling you, I called Tom Garvey and said, I don't care what you're doing, you need to get on there and watch Beltloop and Devil Dog. They are fun. He got on there and he started laughing too. He said, "Oh my God, this is hilarious."
I used to struggle with my watch time, so I started doing so many lives, and now I average about 1,000 watch hours a month.
That's pretty dang good. That's real good. I can't get above about 3,300 or so for some reason, but I'm working on it. I've got, I don't know, 15 videos that I've shot and hadn't had time to edit not one of them to put up. I get them shot because I'm cooking. We got to eat. I'll video it and saying, "Oh, I'll get to editing soon." And I'm like, "Hell, I'm gonna fill the phone up before I get to do any editing."
Well, I would say if they're near Houston, that's where Hungry Heath is, and they have a YouTube channel as well. I don't know if they're familiar with them or not.
I don't know. They don't do a lot of cooking on theirs. They do some, but it's not a lot. Theirs is more general stuff. But they're both good. They've got some great. Let's see. Okay, Dustin. It keeps moving up. North of Houston and Dayton. Houston. Yeah, I know that Simon's in Texas also.
Yeah, along Interstate 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're saying they're doing good to average. Yeah, 300 a month is good. I think that's you got to be bad. Like to maintain 4,000. I think it's got to be like 320 watch hours a month or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was around that for a long time, and then I started doing all these lives, and then that watch hour started popping up. Like I actually just went low recent, like just I'm at like 950 right now is what I'm averaging right now.
That's still real good. That's over
7,000 hours for the year.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's good.
So
that's a good thing.
Yeah,
I gotta get them up because I've got enough subscribers. I just hadn't gotten I got the baby monetization.
But I mean, really, to be honest with you, that's the best way to monetize anyway, because you're going to see more support that way than you will AdSense. I mean, AdSense is going to be a trickle even once you hit it. Like, I mean, with AdSense and the select monetization that I have now, like it's just about $1.50 a day total. I mean, with views and all that stuff. So I mean, it's not filling the coffers, if you know what I mean. So we just do it. Radical Geek Maitreya says, I get the watch hours, no problem. I keep the subscribers down. I try to keep it small community, although I think Mike like if I could talk, Mike might like the cooking. That was
Yeah.
too many little words, similar words right in a row. I'm like,
That's easy for you to say.
exactly it was. I nailed it. Nailed it.
Yeah. Oh
So yeah, she
man.
has a great cooking channel every Sunday night at 6. She talks and cooks. She's got a perfect little setup
I gotta
for
watch that.
cooking too.
I gotta watch that then. Okay.
And
Cool.
I'll put her channel in here.
But man. Oh, Gary says he's got to rewind it to hear what was said. I was saying how good a fellow you and Belt Loop are. I mean, you and Devil Dog are, Gary. New tongue twister. Mike might like. Yep, that's a fact.
Radical Geek just became a new member to your channel, sir.
Oh, thank you so much.
And I put her channel in the comments down there for both Facebook but it failed on Facebook, I think. So I'm not sure what it failed to start of Facebook. So I don't know what's going on with that. So sometimes it'll go through Facebook most of the time, but sometimes it just does not.
I haven't tried streaming to Facebook yet. I've seen too many. I've seen people talk about it like that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
I'm not too worried about it, but I mean, I stream it too because it'll let you stream to 3 places with the level that I pay for. And so I stream to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And you can now stream to Instagram, but it's complicated. You got to use a stream key and do all that kind of stuff and basically get it ready just before you go live. And I don't want to deal with that. And I had difficulties with having it up so I could see comments and then not being able to mute the stream. So it was interfering with the live itself. So, well, I mean, it would be great going live on just Instagram would work fine, I imagine. But having it go across and multi-platform streaming, doing it to that doesn't work very well.
There's a lady of Shelly's journey, Shelly's weight loss journey. I think she's in Indiana, somewhere around. She may be in rural Indiana.
I think I met her yesterday. I don't know. I think she's from Ohio. Maybe.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I think I met her yesterday at the Ohio Keto meetup.
Okay. All right. She may have moved because she was married and got divorced, and she may have moved from where she was. And she's got a son who's diabetic, and she's lost a lot of weight.
Well, maybe. Well, let me see if that's the same person. Hold on. Sherry on a low carb journey.
Shelly.
It might be someone different because I just met a Sherry yesterday. Sherry on a low carb journey. I met her yesterday. It's difficult because her son was with her, but he doesn't do keto or anything like that.
She's got like 3 kids, I think, and one of them's diabetic, type 1 diabetic, and she has come up with some really fantastic recipes. She got away from making a lot of videos because when there was some issues with her channel. I think it was somebody that she was getting rid of that did it, but I don't know that for sure. Was hacking and taking her videos down, that kind of thing. So, it was, she's a nice person. So I don't know why they were doing that, but that, she would do cake pops or, the cake pops things and that look fantastic. And she's got a really good mind for inventing stuff. And she's like me. She was using the telephone, I think, to do all my filming with the telephone, except for like lives. I'll do them on the laptop. I have the MacBook Pro and the iPhone.
So I mean, really, you could just port all your videos over to the laptop and use iMovie and edit all your videos.
That's what I use, iMovie. I use iMovie, and I can maneuver around real well in iMovie. It's just having the time to do it. Because after I shoot it, it takes me a minimum of about 15 minutes to edit it, and sometimes longer, depending on how long the video was. And I have actually gotten to where I just, whatever happened, I pull it over and put it over there just like it was. And if it, you're gonna get to see the bad stuff and the good stuff.
And there's an
This
ebb and flow with YouTube as well. Like for a while, we were seeing like the hyper edited kind of content was taking over.
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't hyper edited, nobody wanted to watch it. I mean, we're talking like not so, I mean, like the Mr. Beast era kind of thing, you know, like,
Mm-hmm.
and even he is starting to pull back on that some as well. I mean, he's still over, he's still filming with 100 cameras and doing crazy stuff, but like he's making full on movie productions out of YouTube, you know,
Yeah.
but for the simple person like us, like our channels, like not needing to worry about overly complex edits and transitions and having something change every minute or every few seconds. There's got to be a you know, that just to keep someone's attention. You don't really need that. So that there's an ebb and flow where like stuff like Casey Neistat was big, where he was telling
Mm-hmm.
stories, but you know, with just a phone or a camera, and you
Right.
know, the vlog type stuff is coming back, and I like that because I like being able to just kind of sit here, look at the camera, provide information, talk about something, and you know, see, and you know, just to give, you know, like I did the other day with the element video that I did. So
Mm-hmm.
um and these lives, I just like talking with people and discussing stuff, and hopefully people get something out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I tried the element. I liked it. I tried element. They were real good. The Keto twins had a code to get a sample pack. I think it was. And it was with just I think it was shipping only, maybe, that you paid, and it was. I tried it. It was really good. But the side of me that didn't want to spend the money didn't go buy it.
Well, that's the thing is like I've got a video in the works about the cost of electrolytes and which ones are better for your like because there's subtle differences between all of them. So trying to
Hmm.
put a video together because I mean I am an affiliate with Salty, which is also affiliate with Salty and Keto Chow, which are the same company basically.
Hmm.
So I'm an affiliate with them. So I mean, I talk about their stuff, but I also still enjoy Element, and I enjoy like Chandra likes the sugar-free liquid IV. I mean, we're not exclusive to any one company,
Right.
regardless of we're affiliates or not. And I think that's one thing. The like, if you're to be an Element sponsored channel, then I think you're only allowed to talk about Elements.
Right.
So Beverly Rux is here. Good morning. Let's
Hey.
see. Good day from Nebraska, Mike. I enjoy your channel a lot.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
for
you.
all you do.
I thank you very much for those kind words. I appreciate it.
And thank you so much, Beverly. Mike is a true hero.
Uh,
He's like,
uh,
yeah, I'm a hero. Yeah.
uh, uh,
We'll have to break it to Mike over at Don Does Keto and let him know that there's another hashtag more Mike candidate. Because at KPL last year, he at the back of his shirt said hashtag more Mike. Because that's like because he's in the videos and people are like,
uh-huh.
we need more Mike in the videos, more Mike in the videos. And so more hashtag more Mike kind of became his calling card.
Okay. When is Keto Palooza?
That's a great question, Mike. Keto Palooza is let me go ahead and bring that up for everybody because we can talk about that. I like to promote that because it is an important event to me. So I'm going to share my screen here.
Okay.
So Keto Palooza is October 11th through the 13th.
Okay.
Tickets are on sale. The speakers have not fully been announced yet. Only a handful are known. We know that that Joe and Rachel will be there for sure. I believe Dr. Barry's going to be there and Nisha. I think that's the only
Okay.
ones we know for sure. I will be in town from the 10th through the 13th. So I
Okay.
will be in a night early, which is for, getting together with people who come in early as well. I'll be staying at the Galt House. I'll have a room on the West Tower. So I'll be there for all the 2 nights of festivities for the Keto Palooza, as well as a night that is not sanctioned by Keto Palooza. So anything that happens Thursday night is not affiliated or sponsored or acknowledged by Keto Palooza itself. But tickets are on sale. Over half of the 350 tickets have sold, from what I understand, or at least getting close to that mark.
Wow.
So, and that's before any speakers have been formally or, have been formally announced. So it's definitely something to look into. I get there's if you look at the description of the video, there should be a link to buy tickets with discount codes. They're not
Okay.
my discount codes. They're Dr. Barry's discount codes or Two Crazy Ketos discount codes. But I don't see anything from this outside of the fact that I want to see all you lovely faces there. So I will push and push this on you until you decide to go and hang out with me. That's what I get out of it. So
I
try to talk about it at least a little bit.
I want to go. I want to go to that. I tried going to the one in Las Vegas, and it got canceled. I still went to Las Vegas, but it got canceled.
There was one this weekend in Las Vegas, but as I was confused, and then I realized and found out that this one was actually being put together by Dave Feldman, and it's all a fundraiser for his cholesterol research. So,
oh, okay. Let's see. Party KPL Thursday. Yeah, but old people style. Oh yeah.
I can stay awake past 11. I mean, I don't have to get up early a Friday morning because things don't kick off until mid-afternoon. So I can sleep in or go down and. But I hopefully we'll all get together. Maybe at least some of us will go together Friday morning and get breakfast somewhere.
Let's see. Now, Louisville, is it on Central or Eastern time?
It's on Eastern time.
Okay. Well, I don't have the advantage of that. So if I keep my watch on Eastern time, I know I have to say, hey, I'm up late,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother, like the time doesn't necessarily bother me. I could be nocturnal just as easy as a day person.
I used to could. I used to could stay up all night long and work all day the next day and be fine. No, can't do that anymore. I'm down for breakfast. Yep. That's my favorite meal of the day. But I don't get to eat it near as much. But I like to have breakfast for supper a lot.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to be making something real soon, and I think I'm going to try and video it. I'm going to do keto grits, and keto shrimp and grits, and a breakfast casserole with it. And the keto grits, I use cauliflower, rice cauliflower, and
Interesting.
I mean, it ain't grits, but it's pretty good. It's
I mean,
a pretty
that's how you
good
can tell how
substitute.
far south you are by how thick the grits are.
Yep. Runny grits ain't good for nobody.
Because I mean, up here we get runny grits, and then you start getting. I mean, even the difference between Indianapolis and Louisville, the grits are like night and day. Like I used to love grits with a lot of butter and sugar, and
Oh, see, now there you go. You went and put sugar in grits.
You know what? I'm a northern, okay? I'm north of the Mason-Dixon line, okay?
Well, the thing is though, you got to put something in grits because you can't get a starved dog to eat plain grits. That they just aren't that good.
Yes, Keto Police. I am in Indiana, central Indiana. So I am just west of Indianapolis. They're in Fort Wayne. That's about 2.5 hours from me. Beverly
Oh,
Rux
okay.
says, Mike, I have to let you know I just put caraway seeds in all my savory chaffles now, thanks to you.
I love it. I love it. It is. Oh, it's the way I came up with that. We were doing a shuffle challenge. Tom Garvey and Lee over at Smoking Bears and I were doing it, where we were doing. It was do something with a chaffle, and so I decided, I want to have a Reuben. I want to do a chaffle with a Reuben. And I said, well, the problem is Reubens. What makes a Reuben a Reuben? And I said, the big thing is the rye bread for me. And I said, that's what I miss about having a Reuben. Now, what makes rye bread have that distinctive flavor? I said, caraway seeds. So I said, let's chunk some caraway seeds into this and see what happens. Sure enough, I'm like, yes, indeed. Tom Garvey was saying he and Marie were watching the video, and Marie says, and she sees it and sees me doing it. She says, I'll be right back. And goes in there and makes them and comes back and he tries one and he says, oh my God, he's done it.
Gotta get you some Dash Minis, my man. You gotta get some
Yeah.
Dash Minis. They're
Yeah.
lifesavers.
I also got a video showing how you can make a chopper without a waffle iron. You can do it in the oven.
Yeah,
I got
I've
one
got
out.
silicone molds that I make like bread, like
Mm-hmm.
bread things with. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the 5-inch or like the 5. I can make burger buns out of them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just easier to what's a
That takes
Dash
way
Mini?
less time. Takes way less time in the dash than it does in the oven. And you can get
Here,
it
I'll
crispier.
show you what a Dash Mini is here. Hold on.
Yeah. And for my money, Dash is the best one to get. I tried one of those nostalgia ones.
No, they're terrible.
They did not work worth a flip. It wouldn't cook anything.
So here we've got. Let's see if you can see this here. So we got you get a single one for $10. I have 2 single Dash Minis because that way I can make 2 at a time.
Same here.
Or you can go ahead and buy for $35, which is a
That one.
sweet deal. You get a
Mm-hmm.
4 mini. They're both 4 inches for $35. That's a steal of a deal. So you can make and they work great for sandwiches and all that stuff. And they're not small. I mean, they're not big. And that's a big one. I mean, if you're by yourself, then maybe one Dash Mini would work. But even for because anytime I make a batch of chaffles, I make enough to make a dozen chaffles. So
Right.
I do 6 at 6 times versus 12 times. So it just cuts it really in half. So yeah.
If I was buying again, uh, I would probably get that mini waffle maker that Dash
I
does.
want the 4 waffle maker now. I mean, I need to put up like one of those like gifting things so people can like one of those things where people just gift it and send it to me.
Yeah.
If I buy it, I may not survive. But if it just shows up at the house, I'll probably make it through.
Yeah.
But it
There
doesn't
you
matter
go.
how much money we have. If I buy it, I won't survive.
Yeah. the thing is, when you and I got ours, that four one didn't exist.
It was like 50 or 60 bucks.
Yeah, and I ain't spending that.
No. I mean, and I've got probably 6 or so dashes or whatever already. Because I've got 2 of the regular chaffle ones. I've got 2 griddle ones that are smooth. I've got 2 of the thin little ones that make the spider web design.
Mm-hmm.
I've got other stuff too. I've got a couple different nostalgia things too. I've got like a sandwich maker, and I've got the egg cooker. You know,
Right.
and let me
Let's
see
see.
here. Let me go ahead and back out of this. Keto Police says, leaving it running, Mike. I have to get ready for work. I'll be back chatting if y'all are still streaming when I get to that point. Okay. Well, thank you for being here. And Maitreya says, I'm glad my dog is the only disrespectful on live streams.
Hey, go to the pull up Pizzelle, Pizzelle maker, dash Pizzelle maker,
Okay.
and share it because that's a good one too. That I'm looking forward to trying it. I just hadn't had the time to try it yet. Yeah, my dog is. I got 3 of them. One, he don't bother a soul. The other 2, they got little dog syndrome.
Here's a set of 3 of them. I don't know why there's a 3.
That's the one I bought. I bought that set of 3. But you can see it's a smaller waffle. It makes it a thinner thing, and they've made a cannoli out of it.
Yeah.
And you can do that. You can make a waffle cone out of it. But and a cookie, you can make a Pizzelle cookie. They're really good. Pizzelle cookie's really good. I love it. That's the cookies right there. That's cookies. And that's what I just had come in. I got a question for you. Have you made your Butter Bob's chicken lately?
Yeah, I made it just like maybe a week and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah, anytime I buy chicken thighs, that's how I cook them. I mean, that's just what we do. So I've got another pack because I buy the pack of Costco chicken thighs now.
Mm-hmm.
And I cut like, because it's like basically 2 sides, and I cut it in half. And I put one side in the fridge to cook now, and I put one in the freezer to cook later. Because if I don't do that, then like I forget, and then we won't get through because it's just 2 of us mainly. And sometimes we'll go through like a half of that chicken real fast. And sometimes it'll sit in the fridge for a week. And then by the time I get around to cooking the other side of it, it's not so great anymore. So I have to, Maitreya says that her Dyson, a Pomeranian, is the president of Angley Small Dog Club. Yeah.
Well, one of these dogs, he's a mixed breed. Well, all 3 are mixed breeds. But he looks like he's got some Pomeranian in him because he's got that little lion's mane on him in the front, kind of like they do. The same coloring as them. Face looks the same. So, but we do that with him. That's actually our granddaughter's dog, and he stays with us part-time and part-time with her.
Right.
But like right now she's in Arizona, and so that's why he's staying with us. But yeah, Max, he's a Yorkie Maltese mixed, a Morkie. And then Buddy, he's the big dog, a bigger dog. He's Black Lab, Black German Shepherd mixed.
Right.
Now, I got friend of mine who says if you're going to have dogs, get one that's a small dog and one that's a big dog.
So
The
then the
small
big
dog,
dog gets bossed around by the little dog.
right? Yeah, and the small dog, he will alert on everything, and he'll start barking and carrying on. He said your big dog will be laying over there asleep, and that dog starts barking, and what he's saying to him is, "Oh, get up! They is attacking us. Get your rear end up!" And and he said the big dog, he rolls over and goes, oh, what? Oh, I'm on it, you know. So yeah, because Buddy will sleep through a hurricane.
I would too.
But he's 13 now too, so that's
Yeah,
one
he doesn't
reason.
care much about anything then.
No, Bruno,
We don't talk about Bruno,
come here.
no. We don't talk about Bruno.
I got him over here, Max. You don't have to worry about him. Bruno is the granddaughter's dog.
Mm.
Max is a Yorkie.
Yeah, we don't
And
talk about Bruno.
Maltese. Yeah.
Have you seen that movie?
No. What's it?
Encanto?
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's a Disney. It's on Disney Plus. Basically, there's a cousin that they don't talk about. His name is Bruno. There's a whole song about it.
Oh,
We
okay.
don't talk about Bruno.
Oh,
We watch
don't-
all that all during the week.
when my granddaughters were younger that lived close to us, I would have seen that movie, but since they don't live that close to us anymore and they're not as young anymore, they're not, because my youngest that lives close to me, she's 13. So
Yeah.
uh,
We still watch that stuff even when she's not here. We still watch the full length Disney movies and all that stuff. So, I mean, Shannon and I are Disney fanatics anyway. Like we go to Disney without the kids, you know? So
I can't afford it anymore.
nobody can afford it. You just do it anyway. I mean,
I mean,
nobody in their right mind could afford to go to Disney World. You just do it anyway.
yeah, that's ridiculous. I'm like, how, my wife and I were talking about this the other day because we would love to take our 15 and 13-year-old granddaughters to Disney. And, they've been, and it was with the Gary Sinise Foundation for families of fallen veterans and fallen soldiers. And their daddy was one of them. And he, I would love to take them down there and do it, but man, the cost of the tickets to get in, I mean, staying around there, I could find somewhere to stay at a decent price.
So when we went last, we went in October, and we was 7 of us. 7 of us. So 7 tickets. Like, I think just the tickets alone, we went 4 days with everybody. And then we did just 5 of us for the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. And the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, I want to say that was alone, I think it was $2,500 or $2,200. And then the 4 tickets was like the 4 days of 6 tickets, or 4 days of 7 people going, was like $6,000 or $7,000. So, but I mean, and then we got a condo, like a 4-bedroom condo, for like a week and a half, and it was like $2,200.
See, that's not bad.
And we had our own pool. It was teeny tiny, but we had our own pool.
Yeah. Now the lodging down there, when I can stay for a whole week cheaper than I can go to the park, something.
So we actually went to a travel agent and said we were going to come down with 8, I think, with what we said. And our middle child wasn't able to go. But they came back. We were going to stay on property and go to the parks and stay a certain amount of time, the same amount of time. And they came back with a quote of $30,000. And when Shannon and I went, we went and we stayed on property, but it was just the two of us, and we stayed at a value resort. We stayed at one of the nicer value resorts, Pop Century.
Mm-hmm.
So we had it was it was just us. It was really nice. We had a pool room, like a pool view room, and I think we did 4 days the same, like 3 days at the parks, and then a Mickey's Not So Scary party. And I think all in all, for the two of us, it was like, without travel, was probably like a little under $3,000.
Wow.
So you can do it affordably, or you can go or you could be the people. You can go and you can spend $900 a day or something crazy like that, like $900 an hour, or I forget what it is. And they'll do like guided tours where they just take you to the front of the line and do all that stuff. Yeah, it's crazy. And they'll drive you from park to park. They'll do all that stuff. So, I mean, if you want to spend the money, you can definitely spend the money, or you can do it. There's more budget ways to do it, but yeah. Well, Mike, I want to say thank you so much for being here with me today and joining us, and everybody here
I've had a
that
ball.
has joined us to talk. And I want to thank all the subscribers all of the subscribers and the members on both sides, because I saw there were members of your side as well. And I'm displaying the members to my channel here on the bottom of the screen. So I'm very, very thankful for anybody who was a member, who was a subscriber, comes and hangs out with us and talks with us, and came and asked questions. And this, like I said, this is a difficult day because this is the second live I've done today. So the people who have been to both of those, I greatly appreciate you. And I appreciate all of those who are going to be listening in the future, listening after the fact. And your dog who doesn't like it, it's fine. And I just want to say again, thanks so much, Mike. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everything that you do for your side of the family, and you've been a good friend to me since we started talking. I don't know, what, a year and a half ago or something like that. Maybe
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you've always been super nice to me, and I want to let you know that I appreciate that as well.
Same here.
Is there
I feel
anything
the
that you
same
want to
way.
plug, anything coming out that you want to talk about before we go?
We do the live on Wednesday nights, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Right now, Lee with Smoking Bears and myself are the only ones cooking, but we can have up to 4 people cooking simultaneously, or we'll have because there's 4 of us that are associated with the live. You got the grilling dude, Tom Garvey, the keto cook, Smoking Bears, and myself. Tom had been able to cook in like 5 or 6 months because he blew out his knee.
Oh goodness!
And they're trying to deal with it. It's all related to when he broke his leg and ankle area, because they didn't fuse it correctly, and so it's caused problems for him, and that's what led to him having knee issues with his knee. So he's been down for that, and the dude, he hadn't been able to get on because his wife has some health issues that he has to deal with. He lives in Idaho, and he goes down to Salt Lake City with her to this specialist for her health issues. And but Lee, he and I've been able to get on and do it, and we'd appreciate anybody that wants to come in and do and watch. You can come on and say you want to cook with us. That'd be wonderful. If you got ideas for recipes that you'd like to see us do, that'd be wonderful. We did keto chili cheese fries this last Wednesday night, and they turned out fantastic. So I'd love to see y'all. That's on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's all I've got.
Well, that's amazing, and I do try to join in and watch and chat a little bit here and there. It's just something about Wednesday nights about that time. I'm just like doing stuff and I forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, and I was
Well,
talking
yeah.
about on a live today of how many lives there are too. Like there's like Tuesday nights, there's a lot of lives, and a lot of times there's like lives going on top of lives and everything. So
Hmm.
I try to be mindful and I try to stop in and say hi to everybody. And
Yeah. Right. I hear you. And I watch a lot of them on the TV, and I can't comment. So just because I didn't comment, don't mean I didn't watch you. I promise. Because I don't always have access to watching it any other way.
right.
But uh, dang it, Bruno. Uh, we've changed the format of what the lives were. It used to be this kind of format where we would do talking and interviews and that kind of thing. And we did. You joined us for one of them, and we appreciated that. And we had a lot of fun doing it. And but then we got to talk and said, let's try to do something different. We saw some folks doing cooking live. We said, let's try cooking live. And we did it, and we've had a ball doing that. Cooking live. I'm here to tell you, you get to see real time cooking and see what it all involves. So if you don't mind that, and then you can fast forward through some of the stuff if you want to, that's fine, But you'll see how we put together a whole meal in real time.
Well, that'd be cool if you and Radical Geek or you and Maitreya could get hooked up and you guys can cook together on your channel and her
Yeah,
channel and everything because so she sees that it's 6 p.m. Wednesday night. So I imagine she'll be in touch with you and that'll
sounds
be
good.
really fun to see. And I'm
Hey, I'm game.
here just in time for the show to end. Thank you,
Yeah,
Arlen. And again, thanks so much, everybody. Again, I just wanted to make sure that everybody truly understands how fortunate I feel to have all of you in my life and all of you coming in and hanging out with me on a lot basis, usually 4 times a week. So thank you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. And again, Mike, you're the best.
thank
And
you. It's been a
we'll see
pleasure.
you next time.
And thank you for asking me.
Oh, sure. We'll do it again.
All righty.
Buddy.
Bye bye.